Hi friends, this is Sarah from Crafting and Relaxing. Welcome. Thank you so very much for joining me. Today is the Bringing Back Basic Gray collab with Beth from Bourbon Creek Crafts. This was a great idea that she had. Every month on the 18th, we bring you projects that we did with Basic Gray from our stash. Basic Gray does fabric now. They don't make paper anymore. Because their patterns are a little bit complex and their colors are unusual, it can be tricky to work with. It's not the kind of pad where I would sit down and smash it usually. I have done a couple of those, but the patterns are busy and there's a lot of detail. And one of the things that I've been having trouble with is I have paper pads, but I don't have any embellishments. I don't have the sticker sheets. I don't have the ephemera packs that would have existed. These are from 2010 and 2008. I can't just go online and buy them. But I've been thinking about how would that work. I could go through my room and put together what I call a kit. I'm sure I have embroidery floss that would match these, so that would be great for bows or knots, different things, strings on the cards. But you're going to be hard pressed to find inks and a lot of accessories to match these. You're probably not going to find enamel dots in just the right colors on some of these. These greens and peaches are kind of unusual, but you could do it. But then I decided I was going to play with triple embossing and different techniques. Triple embossing, if you're not familiar with it, is when you take something and you emboss it just like it says multiple times, 3 times. So I die cut the top of this butterfly, and I don't recall for sure if I did it 2 or 3 times. I do have some process video, and if you want to see it, let me know. It's going to take a couple people in the comments to get me to do that editing and stuff, but I can do it, or I'll either put that together or I'll make you some more. But you die cut, and then you put your embossing glue or Versamark, whatever you use, and then you heat emboss it, and then you do it again until it gets some dimension. So essentially, and I've done the same thing with Miss You, I've created my own enameled embellishments for this collection. On this one, I did the back layer, so there's some shine, but I didn't do the actual happy birthday text. And that's because, as it shows in my process video, I had some complexities in trying to figure out how to triple emboss something and then glue it down, because at the end, they're pretty warped. It's not going to work with just any adhesive. So on something really, really dainty like this, I didn't emboss the top layer because I didn't want to struggle with getting it glued to the green, but I did emboss the green. And so you have some shine and some interest that you couldn't get if you were just doing flat die cuts. So these 3 I did triple embossing on, and I just really had a fun time playing with techniques on these cards. And then let me tell you the other thing that I did that I haven't really done before. I used some techniques that Carrie Rhodes showed recently in a video, and my friend Teresa from Fresh and Renewed with Teresa was telling me about this video, and she stenciled on patterned paper. So in this one, I have stenciled on this with gold. This paper is green and white and pink, and I stenciled on it with gold. And in this one, I used a stencil and unicorn paste. This. So it has some dimension. I don't know how well that shows in the video, and some sparkle. The dimension is tricky, and I wouldn't necessarily put that all over my card unless you think about how you're going to put your sentiment on, because it was tricky for me because this is embossed many times. It could curl. Think about enamel stickers when they get old, or if you leave them in the car, they kind of curl up. So that's what something that's embossed a bunch of times might do, and you're going to have to fight that to get it to lay down. Then this one, I used Bow Bunny Whisper stencil paste, and I just spatulaed it on there nice and thick and left it. All of these cards would have had challenges had I not let them dry carefully. And then when I assembled them, I used ATG and wet adhesive because this would have tried to curl on its own. The This paste for sure caused some curling. This was a little curled. So you really have to allow more time. These techniques would not be something you start, you're going to give a card to someone at lunch. Maybe if the heat's on and things are going well. In fact, at one point in my room, it was like 75 degrees and things were drying too fast. I really enjoyed stenciling on the papers. That added some more interest and I didn't have to worry about matching because I had whisper and gold and unicorn just sparkles with everything. So those were really fun. And I don't know how well all that stuff shows, so I'll just give you a minute to look. And then this is a die cut with vellum and a double layer sentiment in gold and green. And this one again is the unicorn paste in a stencil, and the paste was kind of dried out. It wasn't working great, which turned out to be wonderful for me because I went across with one swoop and then stopped. And so that made it even more interesting because it's not on the whole thing. I left some space to work with. And then this one, the butterfly has extra embossing and the layers. And then these are book page layered butterflies. This one was the whisper paste. And then I was worried about putting die cuts right on that because I put it on thick. So I ran a 110 pound or 120 pound white through my die cutter and layered it behind the pink. So it's really stable, and that way in about a week it won't be rippled. I'm hoping. We'll see. And then this one, I fiddled with this one forever. The happy birthday is triple embossed with a Versamark Dazzle, so it has some sparkle, and the same with the butterfly. So they maybe don't match the pink as exactly as they would when I die cut them, but I liked the added interest of the sparkle. You'll notice too, I also played with mini slimlines. I was watching Letty from Party Planner Papery, and she was doing mini slimlines. And I really liked the idea because she could take a 6x6, cut that piece of paper in half, and use it for the front. But when I got to the card bases, it wasn't an efficient use of bases. And I think it depends a little bit on what size paper you're using for your card bases. I don't have really nice, that I can think of, 12 by 12 paper. So I need 8.5 by 11. So when I was done, my card dimensions on my slim lines are a little different, but I'm kind of hooked on them. They're adorable. So I made one that goes this way and one that goes this way. And I'm almost out of A2 card bases, so I needed to make some anyway. So I thought, well, I'll make some slim lines. So I had fun mixing up the sizes. In this collab, there's so much flexibility. So go see what Beth did. She may have made scrapbook pages or cards. You never know about her. She's like me. She mixes it up a lot too. I hope this inspires you to dig into your stash and pull out a paper that you don't have accessories for and think of how can you use it? What could you mix up? I made my happy birthday and my butterflies out of papers that were from the collection. I did get a little confused and used two Sultry and Olivia paper pad, so my pinks may have crossed, but I just found patterns that I love, and then I got inspired and sidetracked. Go check out Beth's video if you haven't already, and be sure you're taking time for crafting and relaxing. Bye-bye.